This is a Kawasaki Super Sherpa. I bought it from my neighbor who never rode it. He inherited it from his father. It's been sitting for some time. It ran when it was parked, but now it'll turn over. But it doesn't start. So I want to see what we can do with it.
Kind of low energy.
I feel down, not sure why. But that's why we're doing this video today. I hope that if I put a challenge in front of me and we can accomplish something, it will provide some benefit. Psychotherapy. That was a joke. It's working already. So a quick overview of this machine. It's an on-road, off-road motorcycle. This is a single-cylinder, 250cc engine. The motorcycle is complete. The plastic's a little bit faded. It's got some battle scars from being put down a few times.
Haven't we all?
The camera girl knows the struggle. You got back up.
I did.
There's some things I really like about the motorcycle too. The gold rims are unique. You don't see those very often. And I love the stainless steel exhaust. This is tailpipe d'elegance.
Oh dear.
I'm powering through. Can't you see? The reason I bought this motorcycle is because it's what I do. I buy motorcycles even if I don't have space for the ones I already have. But my justification for buying it is that I thought this would be a good video. This is a common scenario. You have a piece of equipment. It runs fine. You put it away in storage for a year or two, and when you bring it out and try to start it, it doesn't go. Usually, it's a simple fix. There's only a few things that can spontaneously go wrong in the span of a couple months to a couple years. Rubber doesn't go bad in that amount of time. Plastic doesn't go bad. Metal doesn't go bad. The only things that I can think of for something to not run when it hasn't been messed with, your son and his friends might have used the parts for their go-kart. The battery can discharge and die if you leave it alone, but that's an easy thing to diagnose. There's one thing that always spoils if you give it a little bit of time. Any guesses?
I know what it is. It's gas.
The gas. Very quickly, gas will turn from almost clear to brown, but then with a little more time, it goes from a brown liquid to a brown, nasty, sticky sludge. And if that sludge, just a couple drops of it, gets stuck in one of the carburetor orifices, fuel can't get into the engine and it won't run. I think that's the problem here. So the game plan is to start with the tank, clear out whatever's in here, work our way down to the carburetor. The good news is it's still liquid in there. And the color is a dark yellow, darker than when it comes out of the pump. Hard to estimate exactly how long the fuel has been in there by the color. So that should be almost all of it. The last little bit I'll drain out through the valve. So pull that off. Well, there's gas going through there. Now, here. And we'll just let that drain. This is good news. It means the little filter that goes up into the tank is clear. There's no garbage obstructing this valve. I'm surprised it doesn't run. That gas does not look very bad.
That puzzle.
Doesn't smell like it's very old either.
Maybe all the gas that was in it had evaporated, gotten all gummy, so he just put fresh gas in it, new battery, tried to start it.
That could be. So our next step is to pull this filter off. I just thought of that. Make sure it isn't clogged, because if the filter's clogged, there could be no gas getting to the carburetor.
Oh!
Yeah, that works.
Now you've had your tonic for the day.
So, I think we should dig into the carburetor. After one more preliminary check, I want to make sure that the engine is firing and it has the capacity to run. To do that, I'll pull out a spark plug and dribble a little bit of gas into the cylinder and try to get signs of life. Oh.
You should leave that in. You left in my fumblings with those bolts in the last video.
How do you think the spark plug is going to look?
Fine.
Me too. A little bit black, but it should run with that. So I'll put some of this gas in the cylinder. The amount here really doesn't matter, as long as it's enough or more than enough, without being ridiculous. You don't want to fill it up. Get some on the spark plug too. For an engine this size, probably half a milliliter of gas is plenty. If it's too much, it'll just cough out the extra when we try to start it until the air-fuel mixture is right. If it starts this way, it'll prove that the engine wants to run. Carburetor is just being stingy. Ready?
Yep.
It did backfire. I'd hope for more than that though. That's inconclusive. What do you think? Try again with more gas or clean the carburetor?
I don't know.
I was hoping it would start up at least for a moment.
Well, I'm not even qualified to comment, but I go with clean the carburetor.
Never stopped me! Come here! The universe, the empire transcended to help me. So this is an automatic fuel valve, partially automatic fuel valve. When it senses vacuum from the engine through this hose, it automatically opens and lets gas flow into the carburetor. What it means to me is I can disconnect this and it's direct access for gasoline entry. So I can do what I just did here, except without fiddling with the spark plug. You understand?
Yes.
This is revolutionary. So pull this off. Give it some fuel there. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's clean the carburetor. I'm not sure how this all comes apart, but we'll find out together. Looks like we need to pull the seat off. This is just a piece of cloth over the top of it. I'm not sure why. So far, I like this motorcycle. Just taking it apart, it doesn't look like it's been tinkered with.
No mice nests.
No mice nests either. The gas tank's a survivor. Really good shape. Should have thought about where to put this. There. Now we'll take off the throttle and the choke. This motorcycle has two throttle cables. One to pull it open when you give it gas, and one to pull it shut when you let off. It's set up that way so if the throttle gets stuck open, you can force it closed. Be handy with some people's mouths. It's for safety. Everything's disconnected now. I just need to remove the boot and pull off the carburetor. I hope I don't have to take off the air box because it looks complicated.
I thought the carburetor was usually easily accessed.
They should design it that way. It holds perishable liquid.
I think it could be a mess in that carburetor.
I don't know. We'll see. Oh, this could be a problem. The intake boot goes inside the air box. Wonder if it's attached in there. I think it needs to come out though to give room for the carburetor. Or maybe the carburetor can just pivot this way so that can stay. Need to loosen up this other clamp now. Okay, that should be enough. Let's see if they designed this with me in mind. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh. There it is. Is this the problem though? Let's find out. You think it's going to be devastated in here?
Yeah.
On the fuel inlet, I see a little bit of brown residue. So that's evidence in your favor.
What do you think?
I think that it will be just slightly clogged, enough for it to not run, but not terrible. What I fear is that it is immaculate and I was completely wrong about my diagnosis. And that will make me look foolish. All right, let's crack open this shell.
That looks clean inside.
I declare myself the winner.
Yeah.
This is not bad at all, especially compared to some of the beauties that come through.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm showing the three-wheeler carburetor. You're beautiful. So there's a little bit of trash in the bottom here. This is what gas turns into if you leave it alone for a while. not a safe alternative to cigarettes. Just a pinch between cheek and gum.
You really shouldn't sing on the channel.
All night long. So with the bowl removed, we can see a few major components of the carburetor. This is the float valve, which is connected to the fuel inlet over here. It lets gas into the carburetor. The main jet provides fuel to the motor at high RPM. And at the bottom of this tube is the pilot jet, which controls the fuel at low engine speeds. Underneath this cap, I think, is the choke circuit. When you pull the choke, extra gas gets sucked up there and it enriches the fuel mixture.
You enriching my life.
Thank you.
Anytime.
That's a compliment, and I don't know what to say. Let's take apart the float valve, see what it looks like. Well, that's stuck. Usually this pin just slides out. Wonder if it's pressed in there. Rather than force it and possibly break something, I'll put some gas in on the other side, try to make sure it's clean that way. Huh. That might be clogged up. Is that working? That works. I think I might have just found the problem. That's clogged up. If gas can't even get down into the float bowl, there's no way the motor's gonna run. So now the question is, how do I remove this pin to clear the blockage without breaking off one or both of these pillars? Like this, I hope. I've got a socket in the vise that has an opening just a little bit bigger than the head of this pin. So I'll put the carburetor in here and just give it a... The guy in the tree knows what he's talking about. So here we go. New carburetor wouldn't be the worst thing. Oh, easy as it goes. Why'd I spend so much time worrying about this?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Let's go back inside. First look in here. Needle is clean. So that's not our problem. And down in the hole, that's clean too. We'll dig a little deeper. Take out the needle seat. I think I'll stand. So that doesn't look bad either. Just a few trace deposits on there. And how about in where it goes? Oh, hey-o! I think we've got the mother load here.
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Dirty, rotten varnish as far as the eye can see. Reminds me of cleaning out my ears.
You know, I thought that, but didn't say it.
Compressed air, that's what we need. Here we go. I bet that feels better. So I think most of that clogged got blasted out into the pan. For whatever's left, I'll wash it out with some gas and clean out this dirty passageway.
I told you it'd be a mess.
How can you say you were right about this? You said the whole carburetor was going to be a disaster.
I was right about parts of what I said. I like how you brought out gloves. Are those to protect your hands?
Well, we're definitely making progress. Looks less like an ear, more like a molar. I'll clean it up a little more. Should be enough.
Oh.
Do you approve?
I do.
Let's put it back together.
What's that thing?
This is a custom modification from the previous owner. There's a few of them on the motorcycle, Easter eggs. He put a brass pipe in here that leads directly into the throat of the carburetor. I think the purpose was to allow extra air into here if the engine got flooded, to allow it to start easier. Not sure though.
Why does it have a ribbon on it?
Maybe it was a Christmas present. I don't know. So I'll clean up the remainder of these pieces and reassemble the float valve. Gently.
Looks like it's into me.
Quit while I'm ahead. The float's put back together. Before I put the bowl back on, I want to have a look at these jets, especially the pilot, because that one has a tiny hole. It's very likely to be clogged, in my experience. Okay, let's have a look at this. That's clear. Did you know the other members down at the astronomy club tease me about my telescope? Never expected it from that bunch. Let's put this back in. The way gas moves through this part of the carburetor is it gets sucked up through the pilot jet, goes past this mixture screw, and out these tiny little holes on the other side. This is what provides fuel to the engine at idle and slightly above idle. Since the pilot jet wasn't stopped up, I'm going to assume everything upstream of it is clean too. That might be logic, might be laziness. The main jet also looks good. I can see right through there, not even going to remove it. So this carburetor is almost ready to go. I just need to wash out the float bowl and finish putting it back together. I feel lucky the only problems with this were the clogged inlet channel and a little gunk down at the bottom. I think the previous owner drained the gas out of the carburetor. I wonder if he knew at the time he would never ride his motorcycle again.
Maybe he had an idea. Maybe that's why he did it.
He certainly never imagined the next person to work on his motorcycle would be a stranger, making a video about it, and that stranger would recognize his forethought. Life is fickle, camera girl.
I know it.
We need to cherish this moment. Tightening these screws. Or actually, these screws. I thought about all this after the fact. Didn't want to lie to you guys. Point remains though. And there. Carburetor is back together. It goes on just like it came off. We'll do it quickly. Don't have much time. I just had the feeling.
What is it?
Butterflies.
Ooh!
We might be riding the Super Sherpa very soon. Oh, first damage.
What'd you do?
I broke the choke. See what I did?
Oh.
The choke threads into the carburetor. It's made out of plastic, and I tightened it just a little too much or at the wrong angle. Snapped right off. Hopefully I can get this broken piece out. They're gonna think I don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's too late for that.
It was very brittle plastic though.
Of course it was.
See? Just a little bit too much force. And that'll ruin your day. I'll get everything else put back together and figure out what to do about the choke later. It's an assault to my pride to buy things just to replace parts I broke.
That happened in your last video too.
So I should be used to it.
Yeah.
About this seat. It has canvas taped onto the top of it. This is either hiding something or protecting something. Or both. Maybe it's a quantum seat. It's neither ripped nor unripped until we observe. Shall we observe?
I don't know. I think it's ruined under there.
Need to face the facts. New seat's only $300.
Oh.
Multiple layers, okay.
It's an onion seat. Maybe there is no seat.
Are any of us really here? I don't know why I'm even doing this. We don't know if the motorcycle runs. I guess when there's this much tape, I just want to take it off. Okay, we're getting to the original cover now. That much of it looks good. I'm going to say it's a immaculate seat underneath all of this cloth.
I don't think it's immaculate.
I feel good about it. The man cared about his machine. He was taking precautionary and preventative measures. And comfort measures. Look at the soft padding. Okay, that's it for the cloth.
Whoa.
Look at that. It's perfect, straight out of the year 2000. Mwah! Put it on here. Ooh! This is great.
I'm not convinced it's beautiful. Look at this.
It's just glue residue. The guy wouldn't do us wrong. Take a break. I'll be right back.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
A what? You mean an ad? Like a big obnoxious monstrosity.
Yeah.
Right here in the middle of my story.
Perfect place for it.
think I'll stick with this. Relevant, informative, visually stimulating. How's that look?
Not good.
I thought I could work some magic with this, but no dice. I used a couple things I had on hand to try to remove the residue from the tape and whatever glue this is. I think the seat is good underneath all of this because if I scrape it enough, it does come off. So I think as we ride the motorcycle, the seat will look better and better. The next thing I'm going to do is take out the air filter and see if it's in good shape. It's getting dark, camera girl.
It is. You're not going to finish. Not tonight.
The anticipation!
Oh! Well, you don't have the choke thing anyway.
I have an idea though.
Oh.
Well, it got hung up a little bit on the way out, but here's the filter element. It looks good. Clean, oily. I'll put it back where I found it.
Looks like you took it out of my aquarium.
It is a similar design, isn't it?
It is.
Cartridge style. Convenient setup. So the air cleaner is fine. I've also got the side cover put back on. This side of the motorcycle is done. I think I have enough daylight to tell you about the choke. Remember all the carburetors from the KDX 200?
Yeah?
They all had chokes. Just need to find them. Here, this is a box from a couple years ago. And right on top might be just what we need. I'll take this out carefully.
Steady.
Okay, so if these threads are the same as the Super Sherpa, I can remove all the parts I don't need from this choke apparatus, adapt it to my cable choke over there. Maybe it'll work. Wait a minute, better idea. I'll use the one off of the fake carburetor. I'm never going to use this counterfeit one because of my principles.
Just parts from it?
Well, that's different. There. Come on over here to the dark side.
Dun 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 dun. It's a black hole over here.
That feels like... Yep. That fits.
Well, no one can see.
Hold on, I'll fix up something. Here we go. See that? Fits in there perfectly.
No.
Do you see that good vein of coal too? Bring the crew down!
You're like some crazy scientist.
Don't call me a scientist. I'm taking off the gas tank so you can see what I was talking about. Okay, so now we can see. Choke actuator goes on in there, screws in perfectly. Did you get it that time?
Yeah.
Or should I take the carburetor off?
Don't point that at me.
So now all I need to do is take this out, take it apart, and use this threaded portion to repair the cable. I think it'll fit together.
Looks like it.
We've come this far, so I think this little handle will just pull off. And if it doesn't, I'll make it. There. There. And this here. That's what we need. Let's try it out. Oh, is that even going to slide over the metal? No. The hole in the new piece is too small for the cable guide. It's supposed to slide over it like the old one.
Your battery's flashing red.
Are you trying to say we should call it a night? I'll catch up with you guys in a few hours. After we shut things down yesterday, I had an idea about how to make this work. I'll bring it out to the vise, heat it up, and when I put on the new piece, it'll melt the hole to the right size. Well, that won't work. I was hoping that as I pushed this on, it would form a nice little bead of plastic on the inside, so wherever I stopped pushing, the plastic would dry and the pipe couldn't go in any further. But it does. Goes right through. I have another idea though, and it's from that same box, same carburetor. This piece on the top might be just what I need. I'll cut off a little from both parts. I think this will work. It looks perfect in my mind. I just need to transfer it into reality. So now these two go together. Do you understand how it works?
I think so.
Really?
No.
Don't be embarrassed around here. We're all friends. Springy and choke plunger. Give it a try up here with the handle. That'll work.
Has there been a new development?
Yeah, never mind. So, come here if you care.
I care.
So this spring needs to push up against the threaded housing, not this cable guide, because when it's screwed into the carburetor, that can just slide in and out. So here's our second sacrifice from the box of carburetors. It has a nice little ridge inside that'll hold that spring. I think the other one did too, until somebody cut it off.
Wasn't me.
Or melted through it. So this should go quickly. I've revised my design. Just want to trim off the very top of this part. Touch of flame. Anybody that's ever done anything knows this happens sometimes. You make one little mistake, it'll cost you a day and half your extra carburetors. Okay, I think that one will work. How about you?
Yeah.
I love you.
I always think your stuff is gonna work.
I could have a bird's nest in my hand that was on fire and you'd say, yeah, that'd work.
It would.
I think it's right this time. The spring's pressed against the housing, so it'll stay where it belongs when I tighten it down. I don't even want to say tighten it down though. When I gently fasten it where it goes. See what a weird angle that is? A little bit more. A little bit more.
You're making me nervous.
Good enough. Feels like it works too. So we're back on track now. Just need to put a few more parts on here, then we'll answer the burning question.
Will it run?
I think so.
Oh, it's gonna run. It wants to run.
Almost there, camera girl. Last piece. That's it. The Super Sherpa is back together. I love that it has a name too. It's not just alphanumeric gobbledygook. Z125, KX100, COVID 19. Let's put some gas in here. See if it starts. So usually at about this time we ask each other how many kicks we think it'll be until it starts, but this has electric starting. How many pushes?
I guess.
How many pushes? I say one.
Oh.
One push of less than 10 seconds.
Oh, that's the long push.
5 seconds. Maximum 5 seconds duty cycle.
I thought each push would be about 3 seconds. I was going for 3 pushes.
3 pushes of 3 seconds?
Well, that's the same amount of time of pushes.
Okay, we'll go for
Yeah.
3 seconds. I say one push. No more than 3 seconds.
I think you're gonna need at least 2 pushes. I thought 3. Let's see.
Let's talk more pushing. Gas on. My positivity compared to the beginning of the video is already restored. So we win either way. Run. Choke on. Ready?
Ready.
Oh, that didn't count. Need to turn the key on. Ready?
Yes.
What? Way less than 3 seconds. Way less. Whoa.
It sounds good.
Can't even tell it's running except for the sound. Smooth. Smooth as a sewing machine. Wow. Super Sherpa lives.
That motor purrs.
Horn doesn't work though. How about the light? Headlight doesn't work either. So we've got some gremlins to work out. That's a winner. And the colors match Dodgy. Did you notice that?
I did.
So the headlight doesn't light up. I also noticed the back brake doesn't work. So we can't go on a serious ride yet.
Well, you really could. It would just be a more interesting ride.
I think we'll play it safe. Here's some B-roll of preliminary Sherpa action. What are you trying to kill me? I'll get the brakes fixed, then we'll go on an adventure in a future video.
Doesn't sound as exciting with back brakes.
You'll settle though.
I'll settle.
Thanks for watching.